Breaking news. In a stunning turn of events, US President Donald Trump has reportedly issued a directive demanding that Nnamdi Kanu be brought back to the United States, declaring him an American citizen amid rising terrorism concerns in Nigeria. Even more shocking. Intelligence reports now classify Sokoto, where Kanu is allegedly being held, as a Level 3 high-risk terror zone. Is this the beginning of a major international standoff? Or a bold move that could reshape global politics overnight? This is where the story gets intense. The world of politics thrives on surprises, but every once in a while, a claim emerges that feels almost too explosive to ignore. This is one of those moments. When the name Donald Trump enters any global discussion, attention follows instantly. Known for his bold, often controversial statements, Trump has never been one to shy away from making headlines. But this time, the news surrounding his alleged directive has stirred intense debate, not just in the United States, but across Nigeria and beyond. At the center of this storm is Nnamdi Kanu, a figure who has long been surrounded by controversy, loyalty, resistance, and political tension. As the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, ipob, Kanu represents a movement that has deeply divided opinions within Nigeria. To some, he is a freedom fighter. To others, a destabilizing force. Now imagine this already complex situation suddenly intersecting with American politics. The news suggests that Trump has instructed that Kanu be returned to the United States, on the basis of American citizenship and concerns over rising terrorism threats in Nigeria. It's the kind of statement that raises immediate questions. Does Kanu truly hold US citizenship? Does any president have the authority to demand such an action? And why now? To understand the gravity of this situation, we have to look beyond the headlines. Nigeria has faced growing security challenges in recent years. From insurgent groups in the northeast to banditry and kidnappings in other regions, the issue of safety has become a serious national concern. Sokoto, mentioned in the news as a Level 3 high-risk zone, has not been immune to these tensions. But linking this directly to an international extraction request, that's where things begin to blur between fact, speculation, and political narrative. Historically, extradition or repatriation of individuals between countries follows strict legal processes. It involves treaties, diplomatic negotiations, and clear evidence. It is not something triggered by a public statement, especially from a leading president. This is what makes the story so fascinating. Is this truly about protecting an alleged citizen? Or is it part of a broader geopolitical narrative? We also have to consider Trump's political style. Throughout his career, he has often positioned himself as a defender of American interests abroad. From immigration policies to international negotiations, his rhetoric has consistently emphasized national protection. So if such a statement were real, it would fit within his broader persona. But there's another layer to this. The mention of terrorism adds emotional weight to the story. It transforms it from a political issue into a security concern, one that resonates globally. In today's world, the word terrorism immediately triggers urgency, fear, and the need for action. Yet, the question remains. As social media continues to blur the line between news and rumor, stories like this spread rapidly, often evolving as they travel. And that's where things get even more interesting. Because what started as a breaking news is now fueling conversations about sovereignty, international law, and the power of political influence. And trust me, this is just the beginning. To truly understand the weight of this situation, we need to zoom out, weigh out, and look at the bigger picture. Because this isn't just about one man. It's about power. It's about influence. And it's about how global politics operates like a giant chessboard, where every move, real or rumored, can shift perception instantly. Let's start with the obvious. Donald Trump is currently the sitting president of the United States. This detail matters more than most people realize. In international diplomacy, authority is everything. Official decisions, especially those involving another country's internal matters, come from the current administration. That means statements tied to the presidency can carry real political weight, even if they don't automatically translate into direct action. But here's where it gets interesting. Authority is one thing. Influence is another. Trump is not just a president, he's a global political force. His communication style, his history, and his ability to dominate media cycles mean that even a single statement can ripple across continents. Governments listen. Markets react. Citizens debate. That's the power of perception. Now let's bring Nnamdi Kanu back into the equation. Kanu's case has always been more than just a legal issue. It's deeply tied to identity, history, and regional politics within Nigeria. The Biafra movement itself is rooted in decades of tension, dating back to the Nigerian Civil War. So when an external figure, especially one as prominent as Trump, is suddenly linked to Kanu's situation, it introduces a new dimension: international attention. And attention changes everything. Governments are highly sensitive to global perception. Any suggestion that another powerful nation is taking interest, even symbolically, can trigger diplomatic responses, internal reviews, or public statements meant to control the narrative. Then there's the mention of Sokoto being labeled a Level 3 danger zone. This kind of classification typically comes from travel advisories issued by governments, warning their citizens about safety risks in certain areas. While Nigeria has indeed faced security challenges, applying such labels can sometimes oversimplify complex realities on the ground. But beneath the surface lies a critical question. Who benefits from this narrative? Is it political supporters trying to frame Trump as a global power broker? Is it activists using the story to draw attention to Kanu's situation? Or is it simply the internet doing what it does best? The truth is, it could be a mix of all three. Now let's take a step back. Because in the middle of all the drama, speculation, and global reactions, there's one thing we need to focus on. What does this actually mean? At face value, the directive from Donald Trump appears bold and straightforward. But in reality, it's anything but simple. International actions like this are rarely immediate. They involve layers of legal processes, negotiations, and strategic considerations. Even in this news, bringing Nnamdi Kanu to the United States wouldn't be as simple as issuing an order. There are systems, agreements, protocols, and each one adds complexity. But beyond the logistics, there's something even more important: the narrative. They shape opinions. They influence beliefs. They create momentum. But here's the key question. Is this a turning point? Or just another moment in a much longer story? Because history has shown us that not every dramatic announcement leads to dramatic action. Sometimes, the impact is in the conversation itself. And sometimes, the story is what happens next. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think President Donald Trump would actually go through with this? Should Nnamdi Kanu be brought to the United States? Or is this a move that could create even bigger problems? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy deep, dramatic breakdowns like this, make sure you like thumbs up sign, subscribe bell, and share this video, because the next story might be even more explosive. Stay informed. Stay curious. And I'll see you in the next one.